Ashton Whitty. I always have trouble describing you because you've worked for InfoWars, you've traveled all over the world. I saw you at the Tommy Robinson March. How do I describe you?
I mean, I just have my own YouTube channel and I do commentary on that as well. So
I even feel weird calling you a conservative because
I'm not a conservative.
You're a bisexual Californian who just doesn't like the liberal ethos.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of don't like the idea of how the entire world has kind of fallen apart to just giving up on common sense. And more so how like our entire nation has fallen apart to the idea of just completely giving up the power of the citizens to the government.
I feel the same way. I feel like my politics are just a normal guy in a bar's politics. Like, I want closed borders. I like Israel. I don't think you should be judged by your race. I don't care who's gay. I don't care what you do in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And that has become radical. To like the president, and by the way, the president is an anti-government guy.
Yeah.
So he's like Guy Fawkes is in the White House. So if you like the president, you don't like the government.
Yeah.
And that's because, how is that radical? I don't get it.
You know, and to me, it's interesting too, is because everything that is, you know, the entire counterculture of it all. For example, if you want like a nuclear family, suddenly that's insane. Yeah. If you believe in simple morals or the idea that we need to protect our borders, that's insanity to the left. But this is all just basic common sense to me, and I feel like we've really given up on it, and because of that, we've seen society completely to a downfall.
You know, I think the left would say, well, we have common sense too. We don't think that children should be separated from their families, and we don't like racism, and we don't like hate. And you go, yeah, I'm on the same page with you on that. Like, racism isn't a thing, and families aren't being separated at the border. Half the time, these kids have just been pulled along as some sort of a passport, a human passport, to get them out. So we're on the same page. I've just done more research than you. Like, I basically know more than you.
Yeah. And they don't seem to understand. It's interesting, too. It's like, why do the left suddenly care about family values now? I mean, they've advocated for abortion.
Yep.
They've attacked the nuclear family. They call father figures toxic masculinity. They make fun of stay-at-home mothers, calling them weak. And yet suddenly they care about family values. And that makes no sense to me after attacking the family structure for years.
It's a total lie. It's just propaganda. I think that we talked about this on the show. I think the conceit is you're Christian, you're pro-family, and you're doing something that's anti-family. Now, I'm anti-family, but you're acting like me. So they don't actually support the family. They're just saying you're being a hypocrite by letting these families be separated. But that brings me to the next point, which is your family's been separated.
Yeah.
By your politics.
Yeah, my family essentially disowned me for my different opinions, and they kind of always knew that I was pro-gun. I'm a Christian convert. I'm the only Christian in my entire family since my grandfather's passing.
Me too.
And they always knew this, but because I supported Trump when he became elected, suddenly it was this huge issue where...
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I was always pro-gun. I was always kind of right-wing in a new right way. And I had a bunch of comedian liberal friends. Everyone was fine with that. But when Trump came, it was like, oh, now these things could actually affect the world. Now your views have consequence. You could have your own president.
Yeah.
Now I hate you.
Yeah.
But this is affecting, like, your own...
Now you're a racist, you're a bigot. All these things have nothing to do with our beliefs. But yet we're like thrown into this white supremacist Nazi persona, which they've made up overnight.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
And I don't think they truly believe it. They don't truly believe that you and I advocate a system, which is a totally implausible system, wherein gypsies, clowns, gays, the paraplegic are all put into trains, then shipped to, I guess, Delaware, where they are then gassed and used as fuel and manure for farms. Like, their concept is so insanely far-fetched that I honestly don't believe that they even believe it. They I think they just hate losing. It's like sports. They didn't win the Super Bowl and they're pissed off.
Well, you know, going back to the family structure is that I'm convinced the family is like the first downfall of our entire society, and the left really does attack that on a daily basis, because when you go after the family, what else do you have? If you have no church, you have no community, you have no family, you join a cult. That's how Charles Manson was so successful. That is why people like Yvette Falarca, who is a middle school teacher in Berkeley, is able to weasel her way into situations and basically take kids from their homes and brainwash them.
Yes, she does have a lot. Like in Berkeley, there's a lot of street kids in Antifa that are essentially taken up from orphanages. I mean, they're not literal orphanages, but they're street kids who are panning for change. And the far left down there, the alt left, takes them in, gives them a home, and the next thing you know...
But you know where these kids come from? The majority of these kids come from rich, white families who happen to have issues with their parents. And I always make the joke to people. And, you know, Alex Jones has, you know, something on him, you know, he's got that character to him. But if it were not for Alex Jones, I probably would be a member of Antifa right now. Because I am anti-establishment. I am all for taking down a government structure and rebuilding it, which I actually think Trump being in office, that's what's happening right now. He's draining the swamp. This is exactly what you want. If you're an anti-establishment person, this is what you want. But if it were not for Alex Jones or InfoWars, I would have never been quote-unquote red-pilled. I would, you know, probably be with the rest of my childhood friends.
I feel the same way. I have anarchy tattoos. I was an anarchist. I want minimal government. And I feel like the conservatives today are the most anarchist group out there.
Absolutely.
Because they don't want the government telling us what to do.
So many people I went to high school with, for example, I was in a punk rock band. I played the drums. All of my friends were into the punk pop scene. And basically, you know, we all listened to lyrics that said anti-establishment. If you listen to any Green Day song, it's all anti-establishment, and a lot of it's actually patriotic. Yet Billy Joe Armstrong, when Trump became president, he's actually the one who started No Trump, No KKK, No Fascist USA. He's the one who started that. But when you're in between Hillary or Donald Trump, why would you choose Hillary? And so a lot of these kids I went to high school with who all went through that same punk rock phase that I did, they said, Ashton, you're pretty alt-right now. I say, no, I haven't changed at all.
Yeah.
You heard some guy say free education, free healthcare, and suddenly he's the guy you want to go for, but they're not thinking to themselves, hold up, anything that's free from the government usually means control. They're not having that go through their minds.
Yeah, they think God is going to do it or something, some omnipotent force.
They don't believe in God, so...
Well, redistribute all the wealth. I'm so frustrated when I hear you talking because you sound so logical, and I think... What happened with your dad? Like, I want to talk to your dad. I want to call him.
My dad's actually pretty sensible. It's actually my mother and my dad's girlfriend who are very pro-Hillary. There's a bit of a feminist side to them. And I think they almost feel like I betrayed them in a sense.
So you're disowned?
Yeah.
Can you call your dad?
He might not answer, just because my dad's girlfriend kind of watches over him like a hawk, and she's not a fan. Yeah, it's honestly, it's most of the women in my family, ironically enough.
I hate women.
Speaking of father figures and toxic masculinity, my father was never really around as a father figure either, but the women, I think, there's also, like, there's a war on fathers, there's also a war on mothers. There's also a war on mothers. And I noticed this with my mother. My mother it was not a typical mother figure whatsoever. And the women in my family are the ones who have exiled me the most for supporting Trump. They're the ones who have blocked me on Facebook, who anytime I would get in debate with them in politics, they would block me, they would shun me out. My cousin was at my aunt's and godmother's birthday party, and my dad mentioned my name because this was back when I was actually in Texas, when I was with InfoWars for that short period of time. He mentioned my name. And because, you know, he mentioned something about me being at InfoWars, she literally got up and walked out of the house, never said happy birthday to our godmother.
You know, I heard the same about...
My name is a trigger.
Alan Dershowitz, he literally wrote the book on Israel, A Case for Israel. He's been ostracized as a Nazi amongst his family and his friends and his peers, and he goes to the Hamptons or something and he doesn't get invited to this traditional dinner party they have, but the dinner party is all about how, what happened to Alan, how did he become a Nazi? And I think the common thread with your story, my story, and Alan's story is just Trump derangement syndrome. Like, these people are not, they don't disagree with us, they have lost their minds.
I know what's so beautiful about Trump is that he's not a Republican. I'm so tired.
Yes, I hate Republicans.
I'm not a GOP person. I'm not one of these, you know, I say all the time, the GOP can kiss my ass. My thing is that Trump is Trump. You know, he has got the Republicans, the Libertarians, the classic liberals, the anti-establishment people, people who are so far left they actually promoted Bernie at first. Cassandra Fairbanks was a Bernie supporter before she became a Trump supporter. These are the people who are truly anti-establishment, and for some reason, all the people who are putting on their pink pussy hats for Hillary Clinton, for some reason forget all the awful deeds that they were literally talking about when she was running against Obama.
Yeah. You know, I say to them, look, someone has to be president. So how about the most anti-government president ever? Like, punk rockers should be very excited about Trump. Comedians should be excited about Trump. Everyone should be excited about Trump.
Yeah.
But the left, I honestly think they're just a bunch of beta male nerds that don't like that an alpha has the spotlight, because alphas made them feel uncomfortable in high school and they want revenge.
I don't think
This
it's a
whole
beta
thing is
alpha
so
thing.
petty.
I don't think it's a beta alpha thing either. I think it's just the fact that he said some things that the media twisted so easily, right? He said the truth.
Yeah, but if you care about that, why didn't you look it up? Like the grab the pussy thing. If that's really a concern of yours, why didn't you Google it?
Our society wants to be offended. We have developed an entire society where people want to play the victim. They want to be, oh, poor me, oh, no, which I've done before. I have done with a family like mine and my family issues. I've played the victim. But at some point, you have to say to yourself, okay, time to stand up, actually make something of myself, and realize if you want change, you're going to have to say something that other people don't like.
Well, I can't top that. We have to end the interview now. Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.